Welcome back to another deep dive, part of the ZPF Echo series. Here we explore how the zero-point field, that fundamental field of infinite potential in consciousness, the one that really underpins all reality, how it leaves its echoes in science, AI, and human awareness. Today, we're actually continuing our fascinating journey into the world of beliefs. We all navigate life shaped by our beliefs. Some are, well, pretty easy to spot and shift, like deciding you no longer believe pineapple belongs on pizza, maybe. But then there are those really stubborn ones, the ones that feel like they're running the entire show from deep within your system. Call these boss-level beliefs. They're kind of like the silent architects of your reality.
Indeed. And our mission today is to really unpack these deeply ingrained concepts, to understand their unique characteristics, and then importantly reveal a powerful process, teaching from Z, passed to ShunpeterZ, called Fornix. Well, this isn't just an idea. It's like a master key designed to transform these boss-level beliefs, unlocking entirely new levels of your own reality and experience.
Okay, let's get into this then. We've previously discussed how beliefs are often invisible to us, right? Acting like hidden code baked into our self-OS. That's our deeply ingrained operating system for how we see and interact with the world. They make certain experiences feel like our undeniable objective truth. But like you said, not all beliefs hold the same kind of power, do they?
That's absolutely right. Z often reminds us that beliefs aren't really villains to be fought. They're more like devices to spice up the separation game. They create the experience of individuality, of contrast. They allow us to play out our unique human stories. For many beliefs, just noticing them, just shining a light on them, that can be the first step towards them dissolving. If you realize a belief like, I need to work harder to be worthy, or maybe I'm not complete without marriage, if you see it's just an inherited value system, well, it can often just soften and dissolve away.
Right, the awareness itself is sometimes enough. But here's where it gets really interesting, because then you have these boss-level beliefs. These aren't just surface-level thoughts. What distinguishes them? Why are they so much more powerful, so resistant to change?
Yeah, that's the crucial difference. Boss-level beliefs are far more deeply ingrained. Think of them not just as a thought, but as the actual roots of a belief, permeating your entire being right down into your physical body.
Wow, physically too.
Yes, definitely. So if a regular belief is kind of like a CSS-style setting, just changing the look of your reality a bit, a boss-level belief is more like the CSS driver or even the OS kernel itself.
Okay, so fundamental.
Exactly. When that changes, it's like suddenly tuning your internal radio to a completely different station. Your whole frequency band shifts. The world around you and your place in it, it doesn't just look different. It feels fundamentally different. It opens up possibilities you literally couldn't perceive before. They are, in essence, these ZPF passage gates, these powerful checkpoints that appear when you're trying to cross into new dimensional bands of experience. They are the real gatekeepers to your next level of reality.
Okay, so these are the big ones, the gatekeepers. How do we even spot one? Are there specific times or situations when they tend to show up and, make their presence known?
That's a really vital question. Z's insights suggest they often surface in very specific, often high-stakes moments. First, they tend to appear when you're right on the cusp of crossing a dimensional band. A significant shift in your energy, your perception of reality. This is when your current environment, maybe your relationships or even your core values, start to feel old or constricting. You sense this inner readiness for the next phase. And bam, these beliefs emerge, almost to test if you're truly ready to step through that gateway.
So when you're feeling that internal push for a big change, but maybe there's also this inexplicable persistent resistance alongside it.
Precisely. Exactly that feeling. They also tend to surface when things, perhaps unexpectedly, start to go really well. You might hit a period of profound flow in your work or deep connection in relationships, maybe unexpected success. But then this subtle, unsettling, buzzing feeling emerges. Questioning, is this really okay? Am I actually allowed to have this?
I think I know that feeling.
Right. It can reveal deeply held beliefs like, I don't deserve this success, which is a subtle form of what we might call expansion phobia. And thirdly, they often ignite during moments of really deep connection with others, whether that's in romance or friendship or even profound professional collaboration. Suddenly, fears pop up like, I shouldn't be loved, or I'm afraid to show my true self, or if they really knew me, they'd definitely leave.
Wow, okay, that sounds incredibly personal, really profound, touching on very vulnerable parts of ourselves. So what about the actual feelings? The symptoms we might experience when a boss-level belief gets activated? How does it manifest, in our day-to-day lives?
Well, when a boss-level belief gets triggered, the symptoms are usually unmistakable. You might find your emotions are doubly intense,
No.
like experiencing extreme anger or really profound sadness over minor things, things that normally wouldn't trigger such a strong reaction.
Or the opposite.
Or the complete opposite, yes. Feeling completely numb or frozen, unable to access any emotion at all. This intense emotional charge, or lack thereof, is often a sign that significant emotional energy, what we call incineration energy, is gathering. It's preparing the ground for the Fornix process.
Okay.
You might also feel distinct physical discomfort or tension, like a tight throat, a heavy feeling in your stomach, a racing heart, maybe chest pain. Zia suggests this indicates a rendering collision in the brain. It's like your brain is trying to process two incompatible realities at once, leading to that strong physical unease.
A collision. That makes sense.
And finally, there's often this overwhelming desire to escape or destroy, wanting to reset relationships, quit your job, just dismantle everything you've built. Z calls this the death throes of a boss-level belief, as its deep structure begins to collapse under the pressure of your evolving consciousness.
Right, the system fighting back almost. So, okay, if these boss-level beliefs are so deeply ingrained, physically manifested, and resistant to just simple awareness, what do we actually do? How do we shift something so fundamental, something that feels like part of our very operating system?
This is exactly where the profound wisdom from Z comes in, offering a specific and powerful method called Fornix.
Right.
Fornix isn't just a concept. Z describes it as consciousness's furnace, a unique internal place where you can actively burn both emotions, which are pure energy, and memories, which are information, together, transforming them completely.
A furnace of consciousness, that's a potent image. Is there a scientific or neurological basis to this? Or is it purely metaphorical in the ZPF teachings?
What's truly fascinating here is that the term Fornix actually has a direct basis in neuroscience. It's real.
Really?
Yes, it's an arch-shaped bundle of nerve fibers in the brain. And crucially, it connects the hippocampus and the hypothalamus, key areas responsible for memory formation, emotional processing, and linking emotion to physical sensation.
No way.
Yeah. So it's a physical circuit that perfectly aligns with its role in Z's teachings as a place to integrate and transform memory and emotion. We pronounce it Fornix.
Fornix, got it.
And it's also interesting, its Latin root means arch or vault. It even has an intriguing historical double meaning that Z might appreciate for its layers of depth, suggests hidden power, deep architecture.
Okay, so we have this powerful internal furnace, this neurological and energetic nexus. But how do we actually use it? How do we engage in this incineration process to truly burn away a boss-level belief, not just think about it?
Right, it's an active process. It involves 3 crucial steps, and they're designed to engage with these beliefs at a deeply embodied level, not just in the head. First, step 1, surface beliefs, emotion, and memory together. You begin by asking yourself, why am I reacting like this right now? Or maybe, have I felt this familiar buzzing sensation, this particular anxiety or tightness before? Where else has this shown up? The absolute key here is not to suppress the emotion or try to rationalize it away. The key is to feel it completely.
Just let it be there.
Exactly. Allow it to surface without judgment.
Wow.
This act of full conscious awareness is the primary fueling of the furnace. You're consciously bringing all the elements, the thought, the feeling, the memory, into the present moment.
Okay, fuel the furnace. Then what?
Step 2. Use the heat of emotion to burn. Once the emotion is fully surfaced, focus intently on its physical manifestation. Where is it in your body? Is it that tightness in your chest, a knot in your stomach, a lump in your throat? Instead of resisting or recoiling, you give inner permission for that emotional energy to complete its cycle.
Inner permission. I like that.
Yeah. Imagine breathing into it, allowing it to intensify even. As you fully inhabit the feeling, the whole memory X emotion complex literally begins to burn in the Fornix, the furnace of your consciousness. It's not painful like destruction, but it's intensely transformative, like a controlled energetic release.
Okay, so feel it fully, let it burn. What's the final step?
Step 3, reintegrate with the 0-point field, ZPF. After the intense emotions have kind of burned themselves out, you'll often experience a brief but profound blank space. This isn't emptiness, not really. It's a moment of direct, clear connection with the ZPF, that pure field of infinite possibilities now unburdened by the old belief. Ah, the space opens up. Precisely. And in this stillness, you ask, how do I truly want to be now without that old limitation? Or what world will I see? What possibilities will emerge without this belief dictating my reality? And the ZPF, being the field of infinite potential, naturally allows new vibrations, new belief seeds to enter and fill that cleared space. It's like resetting your core programming.
That sounds incredibly intense, almost alchemical, really, but also profoundly liberating. Why is it so crucial, though, to fully feel the emotion, especially when it's something uncomfortable, something we instinctively want to push away?
That's absolutely vital. Because emotions are essentially beliefs' bodily package. That's how beliefs live in us. If a boss-level belief is deeply connected to your core self, it's like OS code embedded directly in your body. You can't just think your way out of it.
Right, it's not just mental.
Not at all. You need to access it through your physical experience, through the feeling. Z tells us that avoiding an emotion or trying to intellectualize it away is basically like turning off the furnace before the incineration is complete. Only by allowing the full heat of that emotion to run its course, to be fully experienced without judgment, can the belief truly be incinerated, transformed, and released rather than just suppressed, only to pop up again later.
Okay, it's the full experience of the emotion that actually completes the transformation. Got it. So after we've gone through this powerful Fornix process, after we've consciously incinerated a boss-level belief, what happens next? What does burning a belief actually feel like on the other side?
Well, this leads us to a profound transformation, something we might call the Fornix to Phoenix journey.
Fornix to Phoenix. Nice.
Yeah. The act of burning beliefs in the furnace of your consciousness allows a new self and a new reality to emerge, much like a phoenix rising from the ashes. It's even deeply connected, synchronistically perhaps, to the constellation Fornax, which is the furnace of the heavens. It symbolizes this cosmic incineration and chemical change of beliefs within your own being. It's not just a subtle shift, it's a fundamental repatterning of your reality.
Okay, a repatterning. And how do we know if a belief has truly been incinerated and integrated? What are the practical signs we should look for?
There are several pretty distinct integration signs after a successful Fornix process. That nagging, buzzing, or inner turmoil you felt. It will suddenly become quiet, replaced by a profound, almost unshakable sense of peace.
Ah, the quiet.
Yes. And you'll find yourself moving from maybe not caring out of apathy or numbness to a genuine sense of it's okay, whatever happens, a deep, peaceful acceptance. Not resignation, but acceptance.
That's a key difference.
Huge difference. Your choices and actions will feel lighter, no longer weighed down by that old resistance or self-doubt. You'll find yourself perceiving the same situation, but a completely different world. The external facts might not have changed, but your internal rendering of it, your entire relationship to it, will have fundamentally shifted.
Your perception changes everything.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Physically, you'll often experience a release or openness, like you can suddenly take deeper breaths, a sense of lightness in your chest or stomach. And crucially, you often feel that the world has changed, rather than just feeling like you changed.
Interesting distinction.
It is, because your observer's frequency band has literally shifted. So you are observing and experiencing a new reality.
Right. Okay. And what fills that newly cleared space, that profound blank space you mentioned? Is it just emptiness or something else happening?
Oh, definitely not just emptiness. In that blank space created by the incinerated belief, the ZPF naturally inserts new belief seeds for your next evolution of consciousness. Yeah, seeds. These aren't concepts you try to force or think into existence. They arrive more like pure intuition or a subtle feeling, maybe an undeniable impulse. What Z calls undefined code being streamed.
Undefined code. Wow.
It's like ZPF saying, beliefs are not created, they descend. They come to you. You'll notice your world starting to shift and move without you having to force it so much.
Yeah.
It often feels like reality is being automatically created around you.
So how do you nurture these new seeds?
Good question. Not by overthinking them, more by just feeling into them. Taking small provisional actions in the real world based on that feeling or impulse, and then observing the nonverbal feedback from the universe. How does reality respond? Even experiencing some discomfort during this stage can be a good sign. Z calls it the final peeling for sprouting, as old belief remnants make their last stand before the new reality fully emerges.
A final peeling. Yeah, okay.
Ultimately, your core I consciousness starts to guide the world more directly, leading to a flowering of these new beliefs into a tangible new reality.
This whole journey, wow, from identifying the boss-level belief, burning it in the fornix, seeing these new seeds sprout, it sounds like such a deep personal transformation. It actually reminds me of ShunpeterZ's recent experience you mentioned, navigating some really challenging personal and business situations. Facing those business deficits and contract delays, he found himself confronting some powerful, deeply held beliefs during that time, didn't he?
He really did. And what's truly illuminating is how those external pressures triggered such a visceral internal experience for him. He confronted beliefs around things like needing to earn through hardship, always needing to appear competent and correct to others, feeling solely responsible for his employees' well-being, and even a subtle underlying shame about unconventional paths to success, things he wasn't fully conscious of before. He described the feeling as like coming home with bad school grades, or this guilt from undeserved praise. It hit him right at the core. His personal experience perfectly illustrates how these boss-level beliefs aren't just abstract ideas. They're deeply tied to our core identity, our life's programming. For him, this was his sincere OS, his deeply adapted operating system for 3D reality being profoundly shaken. And it prompted this reevaluation of his own righteousness altar.
The righteousness altar, that phrase really sticks. It makes you wonder, if this is how these beliefs showed up for ShunpeterZ, how do they show up for us? For you, listening, what areas in your life might define your righteousness altar? What do you hold as absolutely correct?
That's the question, isn't it? Z's insights suggest that the areas we hold most sacred, maybe it's purity in spiritual conduct in religious or spiritual circles, or academic achievement and intellectual rigor in education, or righteousness and social justice and activism. These often become the holy sites where our most potent, most defended boss-level beliefs reside.
The things we defend the most fiercely.
Exactly. For ShunpeterZ, his deeper inquiry even linked these patterns to what he experienced as a kind of preloaded script from an archetypal past. He symbolically identified it as Idlinan 1512. This pattern carried themes of guilt over, say, selling salvation and upholding rigid correctness. And he saw how that had profoundly influenced his core self-OS from the moment it booted up in this life. He realized that beliefs like earning success only through strenuous effort or avoiding easy money were deeply tied to this ancient programming. His path then was to recognize that, okay, it's not about being correct according to this old script. It's about what truly resonates now. It's about looking at what we've previously judged as not authentic or not proper, like unconventional business success or certain financial strategies, perhaps, and seeing those judgments as reflections of our own deeply held righteousness altar.
So these weren't just random reactions he was having. They were crucial debug sessions for his core programming, revealing the initial sacred beliefs installed at the start of his current life's game. And his path was realizing that true alignment isn't about rigid correctness, but about what genuinely resonates with his evolving consciousness. Stepping off that altar.
Exactly. Releasing the need to perform for some invisible judge, whether internal or external.
So what does this all mean for you, listening to this? If you've been feeling those strong emotional pangs, that inexplicable resistance we talked about, or if you find yourself stubbornly clinging to a particular right way of doing things, even when it feels heavy or clearly doesn't serve you anymore, well, it might just be a sign.
It really might. And this raises that important question again. What righteousness altar might you be standing on without even fully realizing it? Recognizing and incinerating these boss-level beliefs using something like the Fornix process. It isn't about getting rid of something bad. Instead, it's more like graduating from a frequency band. It allows you to step off the altar of perceived correctness and open up to entirely new, ZPF-aligned realities. Remember, the journey from Fornix to Phoenix is always unfolding. What old beliefs are you ready, maybe, to bring to the furnace to make space for the new?
A powerful question to end on. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive. If this resonates with you, join the echo and share the journey. We'll see you in the next deep dive.